Hi Martyn, could you introduce yourself?
I'm Martyn Brown, co-founder of Team 17 and the studio director there. We're a video game developer based in Wakefield, Yorkshire. We publish and develop video games on all major formats such as PlayStation 3, 360, working with people like Sony, Microsoft, Vivendi and THQ. We're a studio of 85 people and always been based in Yorkshire, and that's where we're going to stay.
What are the highlights of your career?
That's for myself and Team 17. I think we're sort of fairly renowned and one of the last remaining Brit-sauce dinosaurs, I think we're affectionately termed. Given that we're 17 years old this Christmas, which is fairly unique in the whole industry. We've had quite a bit of success in our early days on the Amiga computer, which a few people may remember now. More recently, we've been more known for developing and releasing the Worms franchise, which is, I think, sold something like 14-15 million copies worldwide and won a slate of awards, and it's sold globally, so that's a fairly major achievement for us. I think a recent thing for the Worms thing was entering the digital distribution market, where I think we were second only in the last year to just one Japanese franchise, and we were also the first European developer to release a title on PS3, which is fantastic for us.
What is Game Republic?
A few years ago I helped found Game Republic, which is now integrated into Screen Yorkshire. This is a regional body really that helps support and nurture video game development in the region. It's there to support, maintain the people and hopefully grow the region and attract new business.
Why are you involved with Game Republic?
I think myself and some of the other guys who've been around the industry for sort of 15-20 years now are trying to really play a mentoring role in some of the new studios. I think it's really in our interest that there are more people in the area producing good software and developing. My interest is in this region and this region only, so I think we're all unanimous in the support for that.
Why is it important for Screen Yorkshire to get involved in game development?
I think it's a great thing that a regional body is getting involved and supporting the local studios, simply because I think when there's a lot of people wanting to start new studios and things like that, and really those people don't have the experience and business nous really, so a government body can really help their development and guide them, and I think that's essential these days.
How can Screen Yorkshire help game developers?
Screen Yorkshire have been particularly useful for ourselves in terms of 2 or 3 years ago we had a business development grant, which at the time when we were going through a period of the industry which was quite tough, really helped us put a prototype together and place a title. That title went on to get full development, got published, was a top 5 title in the UK and Europe. We've since gone on to sequel to that title, so obviously that help in the early stage was absolutely critical to us at a time when we needed it most. It's a very, very difficult industry to actually get a foothold in. Creatively, that's one thing, but on the business side, and you really need some experience and good advice on that. So I'd absolutely recommend that studios talk to people like Game Republic, Screen Yorkshire, and seek out the advice. It's very easy to through those companies to get hold of someone like myself or Gordon Hall at Rockstar or Carl or James down at Sumo, who I think are willing to advise and give people best practice advice.
How skilled are the staff in Yorkshire?
The skills, of the people supported by fantastic infrastructure of universities. It's always been a hotbed of talent, going back right since we started in this region. There's always been people here. There's maybe not so many publishers here as there were, but the development people are just fantastic. I think you've only got to look at publishers such as Take-Two, who own the Grand Theft Auto franchise through Rockstar. They're working with a Yorkshire company. We're working with Microsoft, Sony, Vivendi, THQ. Sumo are working equally with Sega, so right there you've got 7 or 8 of the major world publishers out of the top 10 working with the Yorkshire companies, and I think that will always be the case. I think the strength of the studios is absolutely recognised, and long may that continue.
How important do you think training is?
In terms of training, that's something that represents a great challenge really to the industry at large, really, particularly for smaller studios like ourselves. Really, it's just simply because of the nature of the beast. It's difficult to get people in partway through a project. So what we're doing is working with universities and trying to get people to come in at an early stage, work with them, mentor them. Screen Yorkshire and Game Republic founded an academy now, again working with the regional universities. The sole aim of that is to get the high calibre students that come out of there into the local universities and prevent them drifting off to maybe to other studios or even other countries. So I think that's to be applauded. Keeping the talent in the region is a priority, and that's something that I think all the studios will help to do.
How do you network with other games companies in the region?
Pretty much all the people and studios in the region really contribute heavily to Game Republic. There are regular meetings. I think pretty much all the studio heads get on. We share information. It's not like we treat each other as competitors, really. There's a lot of space in the market. We're all doing our own thing. So we kind of help each other and just, again, want to maintain that there's a healthy level of development in the region.
In summary, what advice would you give to anyone who wants to start their own games company?
If I was going to recommend anybody to start up a company, I think the very first thing I would suggest is actually go out and actually talk to some people who've done it. Try and find out something, particularly about the business and what your routes to market are. Really seriously think and plan what you're going to do. Having a creative idea is great, but at the end of the day, there are a lot out there. You have to be really astute about the business side of things, no matter how creative you are, and that's something I just can't underline enough.